driving. Hope comes and stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good evening to everyone. We are going to be talking about the family disease today. All right. And I think I'm going to send it one more place. The one not with that motherfucker in it. There we go. And forward. All right. Now it's a WhatsApp also. And we are in studio. Hello, hello. No, not really studio, but I'll pay for it at studio. Damn it. Oh. Yeah. I hope you're okay. You know what? I started shaking a little bit too. Hey, that was it. Actually, I finally got hungry. As soon as this started, my stomach was like, oh, I'm hungry, motherfucker. Right. Oh, so good to have you. Good. All right. Meatloaf sounds good. As long as my wife doesn't make it. I'm kidding. She experimented with meatloaf once, and it's been fine ever since. I love her. I do. I love her a lot. So, alcoholism, the family disease. Let's go ahead and do introductions and kind of get started. Welcome to Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. I'm a host with the most. I talk a lot. We'll put it that way. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. See, if you say hi and mingle and things like that, I go up on the whatever. So, the family disease, and I want us to think about this a little bit. See, when it comes to alcoholism, it's not the same addiction as drugs. Yeah, that's for the she was on. Damn. I knew you were on. I knew you were on. Yeah, that's the new design, right? And I hope they keep it because I like it. That's what the other ones look like. That's what I normally get. I get those three, right? But I like that one. I hope they keep it. They're calling it holiday, but I just call it cursive. So, and it looks, I like it. It fits us. It fits us. So I hope they keep it, but they won't. So I'm going to be reading out of the big book. You know, I was thinking about this, and even with my mom being an alcoholic, my father being an alcoholic, I'm grateful that they were alcoholics too. I know, it sucks. I wouldn't have been born if they weren't. I wasn't born on purpose. Okay? Most Virgos are not. Just so you know. Most Virgos were New Year's Eve stuff, right? That's okay. But I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for alcoholism. I wouldn't be sitting right here if it wasn't for alcoholism. So in a way, I almost need to be grateful. Because without alcoholism, I wouldn't know any of you. And I'm happy about that. So, my thoughts on that. I'm going to be reading out of the family afterward. Okay? I'm going to start at the beginning. I didn't say all. I said some. I said most. Okay. Chapter 9. And I'm not saying that we're not wanted. Okay? Please take that lightheartedly. All right. Our women folk have suggested certain attitudes a wife may take with the husband who is recovering. Perhaps they created the impression that he used to be wrapped in cotton wool and placed on a pedestal. It won't work. It won't work. Anything that provides to shield the alcoholic will fail. They will go back to drinking. Their minds will look for that easier, softer way, and that's what will happen. Right? That's been my experience. No, we have to face the fact that these things are going on. They are happening. Okay? For me, it was a blur. It was a blur. There's time missing out of my life that I don't know that I'm ever going to get back because I drank so much. Right? Successful readjustment means the opposite. All members of the family should meet upon common ground of tolerance, understanding, and love. This involves the process of deflation. See, everybody has their instincts, and the alcoholic has been a pretty bad example. Come on in. Has been a pretty bad, I know I was, a pretty bad example of how to live life. I got angry quickly. I called people names. You know, I would do silly stuff thinking I was funny. And people were just like, I wish you'd get sober, you know. But alcoholism, the disease itself, they do call it the family disease. And that's because it affects everybody in the family. So now alcoholism is a little different. Let's say your parent was a drug addict. Well, that may not have happened till later on in life. And then those changes started to happen. And that's what makes it different. But, you know, the alcoholic, his wife, his children, his in-laws, each one is likely to have fixed ideas about the family's attitude towards him or herself, right? And that's how we, you know, that's our perception, how we see ourselves and what role we're actually fitting in the family. Each is interested in having his or her wishes respected. We find the more one member of the family demands that the others concede to him, the more resentful they become. This makes for discord and unhappiness. You know, my biggest thing with my family and growing up was the fact that they treated me differently than they did the other children. But I have to remember that I also acted differently than the other children. They didn't know what they were dealing with. We didn't know what we know now back then. Right? And then what happens? Well, you know, I feel like my older brother kind of got resentful of the fact that I got more attention from mom because of the problems that I went through. You know, and I don't blame him for feeling that way either. Not anymore. I used to. But gee, weren't we all just trying to get what we fucking could out of mom or dad while they were drinking? They were doing the same thing. It's just that I saw things a little differently, right? And why? Is not each wants to play the lead? Is not each trying to arrange the family show to his liking? Is he not unconsciously trying to see what he can take from the family life rather than give? See what we've done? Right? I mean, look what we've done. This is us. This is us. And I needed to understand that they were watching. And they're watching to this day. My kids don't say much to me, but they fucking, I guess they're watching everything I do. Weird. So we can take it back the other way, but this may take time. With my family, it's taken years. We're at 7 years, man. We're still just starting to come back together. Took a little bit of time. It's still kind of hard. Okay. But I taught them to do that. That was me. Why would they, why do you think I had such a big anger problem? My dad did nothing but yell at us, beat us with a belt, punching holes in walls. Where do you think I learned that behavior? I learned it from him. And good on him. After him and my mom split up, he went to counseling for his anger. So good on him, man. Good job. Cessation of drinking is but the very first step from the highly strained abnormal condition, a doctor said to us. Years of living with an alcoholic is almost sure to make any wife, child, husband neurotic. Crazy. That's what neurotic means. Crazy. They want out, man. The entire family is to some extent ill. Okay. Man, I've got 8 brothers and sisters, and I give you every single definition of what is right or wrong in a family. Right? I mean, I've got one sister, she got 16, 17 years, but really isn't a part of my life. I just found out about her 5 years ago. Actually, longer than that, 7, 8 years ago. Right? Let families realize as they start their journey that all will not be fair weather. Each in his turn may be footsore and may straggle. There will be alluring shortcuts and bypaths by which they may wander and lose their way. Okay. This is exactly why I decided to make my club a family-oriented club. I want Al-Anon to be there. I want Alateen to be there. That way the kids can see with their own eyes what is going on, what is happening. And then what about the kids who feel lonely because they don't feel like I was that way because I didn't feel like I had anybody else, right? And to be able to go to a place where they belong to. The fuck was that? Weird. Okay. Suppose we tell you some of the obstacles a family will meet. Not will, not might, not kinda, will meet. All right. And we're going to meet these together. Okay. See, my bond with my son has really been growing because we've gone through some hard things together while living here. Things that come from the outside, right? Okay. Since he's been here, we've got into it once. That's fucking great. And that was at the very beginning. And then we discovered how we were supposed to talk to each other. And it hasn't happened since. We don't even fight over the thermostat. We all agreed we have a Nest and it doesn't need to be hooked to the internet for convenience. No, it wasn't doing a very good job. So, Kitten, please stop that before I kill you. Suppose we suggest how they may be avoided, even converted to good use for others. The family alcoholic longs for the return of happiness and security. Probably going to want security before happiness. They're going to say they want happiness, but they don't know what happiness is. Return of happiness. Was there any ever happiness? Ugh. Right? They remember when father was romantic, thoughtful, and successful. Today, life is measured against what other years, and when it falls short, the family may be unhappy. My kids didn't get to experience that with me. So, and that's okay. Because, well, it just didn't happen. Other things happened. So, family confidence in dad is rising high. I was a chronic relapser, and no, it wasn't. maybe the first couple of times. But it wasn't until I got a few years under my belt that my kids started to believe that it was actually going to happen. And I'm going to tell you, I can't blame them for that. I can't. But I've changed. That's great, but maybe they're not ready yet. One of the hardest parts of the program for me was giving my kids space. It sucked. I hated it. But I did it. And it worked. It worked. I would ask my wife for suggestions on how to talk to my children. I needed to ask that because otherwise my son and I would just keep getting in fights. And she does a really good job with me. So I asked questions. Right? The good old days will soon be back, they think. Sometimes they demand that Dad bring it back instantly. God, they believe, almost owes them this recompense on a long overdue account. You know, it's not bad that you feel that way. I felt that way. You bet. And I was living on Skid Row when I was 18. That. But the head of the house has spent years in pulling down the structures of business, romance, friendship, health. These things are now ruined or damaged. It will take time to clear away the wreck. Though old buildings will eventually be replaced for finer ones, the new structures will take years to complete. What's the best way to do it? Well, the best way to do it is say, hey, this is what happened. What I did is I gave my kids a chance to yell and scream at me. Right? I did. My daughter was pissed and she needed to get off her chest. So I gave her the choice. My son turned it down. He said, I don't want to go there. That's his business too. He's finding a different direction. That's okay. I got to give it to him. Why? Because my parents didn't do it for me, and it stunted my growth for a long time. I don't have much money. So what I'm trying to give my kids is every opportunity for a happy life. Hi. Hey, Amber. It's good to see you. I miss you. I told you that earlier. So, Father knows he's to blame. And that right there is probably one of the best things. Yeah, go get on out there. Love you. Thanks for being here, Ingrid. I love you, honey. I don't know where I was going with that. So let's just, Father knows he's to blame. Right? We're born with this disease. It isn't entirely our fault, but we're going to have to take responsibility for our actions. It's just the way it is. For us, that's the way it is. Okay? Imagine having Tourette's, where you feel like you're going to talk and then I would feel like I would need to apologize every time I was mean. Right? But what if we lived without blame? What if we lived without blame? That person's doing that over there. That person's doing this. That person's doing that. Well, Dad, he's to blame. No, he's not. At some point in our lives, we have to stop using our parents or anybody else for who we are. Especially if you don't live with your parents anymore. Okay? It won't work. I tried that. My PTSD, I'm going to tell you, there's a part of my brain that fucking hates all of them. Okay? It's there. And I have to accept that it's there. There you go. Bam. Taking full responsibility for my actions. Yeah. Great job, man. It's all we really can do, isn't it? But Let's go back to that. You remember when somebody apologized to you for something you did wrong. Look what you're going to do. These people love you. They fucking respect you. They want you to get better. Why? Because they know you're a beautiful person. When I got sober the first time, Shannon, who is my wife now, was my girlfriend. And she saw what I was like when I was sober. Oh man, I was on fire when I was a kid. Now I just know a lot more and say it slower, right? And when we got back together, she would tell me, Dion, I'm just going to love you till you learn how to love yourself. I know the sober Dion. See, it was that kept me going. That's why I didn't kill myself. That and I was too chicken shit to really, do it myself. I was going to allow alcohol to do that so I could be a martyr. And I don't want that anymore. No. I want my kids to be older and be telling my grandchildren, your grandfather died sober and he was an amazing man. That's what I want. Perhaps he will never have much money again. I didn't have much money before and I have just as much now. My kids know I don't. My kids know what I do and they know I don't have any money. They know. So, but the wise family will admire him for what he is trying to be rather than for what he is trying to get. And then I have be a good person and good father. Yeah. I'd like to keep on going. I'm not going to, you don't have to sit here and listen, but I am going to go on a little bit longer. I usually go about 20, 25 minutes, but now and then family will be plagued by specters from the past. For the drinking career of almost every alcoholic has been marked by escapades, funny, humiliating, shameful, or tragic. The first impulse will be to bury these skeletons in the dark closet and padlock the door. The family may be possessed by the idea that future happiness can be based only upon forgetfulness of the past. We think that such a view is self-centered and in direct conflict with the new way of living. The alcoholic working a program isn't going to go for that. No. Man, you're just doing everything to push your luck, aren't you? I'm not giving you any more attention on it. So it's funny when your kitty cat's just like you. He's like, bad attention is better than no attention. Right? We can't sweep it under the rug. Bygones be bygones. Never really works out. It never really works out. Water under the bridge. We got to talk about these things. You're going to have some people that are just, my older brother, he doesn't want a ninth step. Okay? But I know he's growing. I know he's making progress. And that's all I really want for him. Why does the rest matter? Right? Henry Ford made a wise remark to the effect that experience is the supreme value in life. It's true. My experience is the best thing that I have in my life. Even if I was a millionaire, I would say the same thing. My mom would always tell me, Dion, I think you're probably going to be the most successful. And she's right. Every single one of my brothers and sisters makes more money than me. So, we grow by our willingness to face and rectify errors and convert them into assets. The alcoholic's past then becomes the principal asset of the family, and frequently it is almost the only one. Did you hear that? You're the asset now. Fucking hallelujah, man. Isn't that what we've been striving for? Isn't that what we've been going for? I used to think that I wanted people to respect me. And that wasn't it. It wasn't it. I just wanted to be something that mattered, man. In a good way. in a good way. You see, most alcoholics and addicts, or any kind of addiction, most of these people are fucking beautiful, beautiful, man. I just get, might make me cry. I was just at my 3 p.m. and the newcomer, there was one newcomer, and she's been having a hard time. And she said today, today's day one, but it's the only day, and I'm not counting it in. I'm not counting anything beyond this anymore. It was something like that. I'm just like, oh my God. I love it. I love it. Those are my words. I got it from somebody. I stole it from somebody else. What does it fucking matter, right? And I found it beautiful. Then almost every single newcomer, and there was like 7 of them, said the same thing. It was like watching a miracle of God walk through the fucking Zoom room. It was phenomenal. And I got very, very happy. It made me happy. The painful past may be infinite value to other families still struggling with their problem. Yeah, we've been relieved of this. And now it is our duty. Yes, I said duty. It is now our duty to pay it forward. Yeah. Now, my kids, they don't necessarily, go to meetings and things like that. But my kids are the kind of kids that pick people up that are in homes and take them shopping, and they think of other people, man. They don't have to do this in AA. No, they're following my footsteps. Kitten. He won't react unless I yell. Kitten! There he goes. He's like playing with my very expensive speaker, so I had to do something. I apologize. I should have muted. We think, and this would be my last paragraph. Dude, he's not giving up. All right. He's clearly bored, so I'm going to go play with him after this. We think each family which has been relieved owes something to those who have not. And when the occasion requires, each member of it should be only too willing to bring former mistakes, no matter how grievous, out of their hiding spots. Why? Because we've healed from this. See, I can talk about my wife and I because we have a fantastic relationship. We do. It's the best relationship I've ever been in. And I'm proud of myself. Okay? Because my picker was not wrong at 18. Actually, 17. My picker was right on. It's when I met her and I fell in love with her immediately. And here we are, married. Thanks, Skippers. Skippers was a fast food place, fast food seafood. I hate seafood. All right. Showing others who suffer how we were given help is the very thing which makes life seem so worthwhile to us now. Cling to the thought that in God's hands, the dark past is the greatest possession you have. The key to life and happiness for others. With it, you can avert death and misery for them. Your alcoholism, all the fucked up things you did, everything you did in life qualified you to help other people avert death. Do you feel that? I feel it. And when I hear newcomers saying things like that, all it does is encourage me to run my mouth more. I loved it. All right. So don't be ashamed of your past. Okay. Don't be. I pooped my pants twice today. There you go. Now you don't need to be feeling that way. Ah, don't get this one. It stinks. All right. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. This is life. This is life, my friends. Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciated it. Again, I apologize if I offended anybody with the Virgo remark. We all belong here. We're all children of God. So that was a little not right of me. So I will remember that mistake. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I love you. I really do. Peace out and have a day. Bye-bye.